Today is the day when I felt like my nitrite level is very good. I was really surprised by these results. So I decided to stop feeding the fish for about 2 days just to kind of see where things are. The number prior to this test was always between, like, sometimes between 1 and 2 or slightly below 1, but now it's clearly at 0.25 or below that. And for me, this is safe enough to start adding in fish. So it's about 4 months since I started flowing water, and I spent the last month seeding it. But it wasn't until I started adding the second set of biomedia that these results came in. So I think that is a combination of seeding it with live bacteria and the oyster shells that really improved the nitrite. So I'm really happy about how things are going. Here's a new mystic koi from batch from Coda. There's just so many. We're given 10 minutes to select them, so I'm gonna see if I can get some for myself.
And that's slippery. Bigger red, when it grows, it'll get smaller.
This is a big fish, right?
This one is better. Oh, this one? No. Yeah, this is the better one. So,
okay, I guess
Promo?
Easy.
This one's gonna get dark. You see the black?
Oh, there's so many to select.
The bigger one. I can't see. We're all trying to do our best over here in this space. Here's a bigger one.
I mean,
Oh, that? I want to throw this on. Is it? Yeah. Especially if you like this big guy. This one? I'm going to toss this one. And then we'll talk about hockey.
this morning I dropped by Mystic Koi up in Upland to get myself some fish. It's kind of like a reward for keeping my water under control, and also because I wanted to just get more koi. Honestly, they had a brand new batch come in from various breeders, and there were just so many people lined up for them, and they had to take down people's name, get 3 people in at a time, give people a 10-minute time limit just to pick them up and select them before the next batch or the next group of people were allowed to get through. So since I got there at opening hours, I wasn't too far down the list, so it only took like maybe 2 rounds until it got to my turn. But I got 11 kois, and these are one of the expensive ones. These are just like $50 a pop, but you know, just growing them out to see how they do. I basically went in looking for a specific type of koi, mostly chawoi, and decided to go with some chawoi and ochiba and some shiro usuri, and these are all from Coda. So let me unload them into the little bin and see how they look. These are the 11 koi I ended up picking up at Mystic Koi right here. We got 3 shiro usuri, 4 chawois, and then 4 ochiba. The ochiba, they are Ginrin and a slightly dark color, although 3 of them looks like more golden. The chawoi is more chocolate color and slightly brown. I was looking for some green ones, but they didn't have any in this batch, and they had some bigger ones, but you know, I didn't want to pay the price, so I wanted to just grow them out and got these. The 3 series of Ginrin, and I've always wanted to get some of those, and luckily I was able to get 3 of them. There were a lot more, but I just selected these 3 to see how they would turn out. And I feel like these fish are pretty safe, and at that price point it's okay if they don't turn out the way you want them. It'll be fun to watch how they grow up. And since there's 11 fish, I'm gonna have to be keeping an eye on the water level, not the level but the water parameters, to see how they would change the nitrite reading overnight and in the coming days. It will determine how much food I can give them, and how many more fish I can add, or I should add, or I should not add. So this will be very interesting the next few days. But these are the fish. These are gonna be fun just to watch them grow. They're currently about between maybe 5-6 inches at most. Well, maybe 4 to 7 inches at the most. Some Ginrin and some just standard chawoi. I'm gonna let them rest for a bit before I toss them in the pond. I'm gonna give them a salt dip. Here's my ongoing pond project, especially when it comes to filtration. As you previously seen, I've added 2 large bins of oyster shells and flow 1 pump into it to create a 2 waterfall. And yesterday I started feeding again because my water parameters appear good, at least the nitrite appear great. And I purchased 11 baby koi. It's kind of difficult to see because I have a lot of reflection early in the morning, but they were 11 baby kois from Mystic Koi. I think the breeder was Koda, and I added them overnight because I had to do a salt dip, but I ran out of salt, so I had to go to Home Depot and grab some and couldn't capture that process. But basically I threw them in at night, and this morning they're doing okay. I haven't seen any issues. They're swimming, they're eating, and now the most important thing for me is testing the water parameters again. So let's go see it. And here we are. I kind of did a full-on test. Let's start with the nitrite. So this is the one that has been keeping me preoccupied for the last few months. And right now, since I started feeding again yesterday and added 11 koi, the nitrite hasn't changed much. It's between 0.25 and 0.5. And that, to me, it's great. That means my filtration media is building up the bacteria to consume the nitrite, and it seems like it's not even fully cycled yet, but it's completely been able to handle a lot of food. I think yesterday I started feeding like 4 or 5 times, but I'm going to up that to about 10 to 15 times a day. And here is my pH. It's between 7.5 and 8. It's been pretty stable. Here's the ammonia. It's between 0 and 0.25. That's obviously because I added more fish and started feeding more. So that range doesn't concern me at all. Now here's the most interesting development. Now, ever since I added those oyster shells, and I do attribute it to the oyster filter, my nitrate has dropped down to 0. Now I haven't seen that in forever. I had always assumed that there was going to be, between 10 to 40 ppm or a milliliter. Well, I should just say ppm. I was always going to assume that it's going to be between 10 to 40 or sometimes even 80 ppm. But now the nitrate is completely 0. That means I got enough algae and whatever other organisms in the pond to consume it all up. So I don't even have to worry about the nitrate. And I haven't even completely finished my filtration system yet because I still have to add a shower to do a foam fractionation. And these results alone have definitely built a lot of confidence in my pond, and in terms of stocking density I am now at about 35, 36 fish. My goal is to get about 50 fish in there, grow them out, and then keep maybe 15 or 20 at the most, probably less. But that's my goal, and part of this is having the right water parameters to handle all of that. So I'm very happy with the results. So I think the live bacteria seeding worked, and also adding more filter media to give it surface area to build up. I think that those two things really help with the water parameters. And the next part is really adding a shower behind those plants where the white bins is right now. So I'm going to add 4 of those bins, which will give me about 250 gallons worth of space to add media again, and that's gonna help, you know, filter even more and create a foam fractionator and get rid of the surface foam, because although right now there's no foam, it's only happening because, well, for one, the fish are pretty small, and two, whenever you feed it, the fish pellets, they break up the bubble, so you don't see the foam. But I've gone to the pond, you know, some mornings and see a lot of foam. So I think that's going to be a problem that will eventually be more evident later on when the fish get bigger. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the results of the water and the live bacteria seeding, and especially this right here, static media filter with oyster shells.